We're also pleased to be rolling out our new report today that details the evolution and growth of the concept of placemaking in the past decade. Joining us today are League President and Grand Rapids Mayor Rosalind Bliss, Holland Mayor Nancy DeBoer, and Shanna Draheim, Director of Policy Development for the League, and the author of this new report. We will start with Shanna.
Thank you, Catherine, and I'd like to join her in welcoming you all to the MML convention, and what a great way to kick it off, I think, here in Holland with the rollout of this report. I think what better place to launch this and roll out this report than Holland. If you just take a look around us right now and look at what we're seeing on the street, I think you see streets that are designed for pedestrians and bikes and cars. You see shops and restaurants that are offering unique dining and shopping experiences. And, you know, it's little things too, like the fireplace that's behind us that is just calling for people to gather and hang out, chat with neighbors, or flower pots and benches for people to gather. These are the little things that, and big things sometimes, that attract people to communities, that make people want to come downtown and support these local businesses. And that's placemaking. And increasingly, that is what businesses and talent want, and it is the thing that helps us to attract businesses and residents to our communities. So the League has been a champion and an advocate for placemaking for well over a decade. In the early 2000s, we really realized that a lot of our communities were struggling with the changing economy in Michigan as manufacturing and agriculture were declining. A lot of our communities were struggling to maintain quality of life and services. The state was cutting budgets. And we really realized that in order to prosper and thrive, we needed new models for community building. So we set out in partnership with a lot of other organizations, education, nonprofit, and state agencies to really learn from places that were thriving and prospering, those places that were attracting new economy businesses, and what were they doing? And how could we be doing that better here in Michigan? So this effort over the last decade plus that is highlighted and detailed in this report, A Decade of Placemaking in Michigan, it really took a lot of forms over the last 10 years. In the beginning, we did a lot of convening, brought together partners and member communities, experts. We visited places that were thriving and succeeding to learn from them, what were they doing. And then, of course, we broadly shared that information with our member communities, and ultimately have been focusing the last few years in implementing and helping them, providing some hands-on implementation assistance. And these have been really important efforts. So this has taken a lot of different forms in recent years too. Not only did we do some early convening, but we realized to have a broader impact, we had to be creative about this. So we did things like hosting a radio show, The Prosperity Agenda, which was on the air for several years and featured stories of people who were out there doing great things to make vibrant communities in Michigan. We hosted and launched a Let's Save Michigan campaign, which encouraged people to create posters and designs of things that were important to them about Michigan communities. And that engaged 17,000 people. We hosted Twitter town halls, and we published 2 books that were on the sort of the how and the why of placemaking. And those are still resources that are used by practitioners really around the globe. So we are very proud of this effort, and I think you can see the efforts that the League has made and our partners in our communities today. We've watched and participated as places like Holland and communities all over our state have implemented placemaking projects and turned formerly blighted or vacant properties into vibrant and thriving community assets, where they've changed local policies that support the kind of development we see here. Things as simple as changing zoning ordinances to allow outdoor dining, for example, downtown. And we've really watched and seen this happen over the last 10 years. We've also seen a lot of changes in state policy, which have helped to support placemaking. The way funding for community development is allocated in ways that support that, and how grants are awarded. So it's been a lot of great effort and a lot of wonderful partnership that we're really proud of, and that I think there's some wonderful stories in the report to share. I know I speak on behalf of all of the League staff when I say that none of this would have been possible without our Board of Trustees, our amazing and visionary leaders on our board, past and present. Their consistent and unwavering support for placemaking and for the sometimes crazy ideas that staff came up with to push and pursue placemaking has been critical to the success of this. And I think every one of our communities in Michigan owes them as much debt as we do. So with that, it is my honor to introduce our current board president and mayor of the city of Grand Rapids, Rosalind Bliss.
Thank you, thank you. I think you'll find all of those of us that serve on the board, we're so supportive of this work because we see every day the power of placemaking. And so while the faces at the league and on the league board have changed over the years, the dedication and the commitment to placemaking and the placemaking concept has never ever wavered. So under the leadership of our league CEO, there in the back, Dan Gilmartin, the league has become truly a national leader in the placemaking movement. The league's motto, if you're not familiar with what it is, "We love where you live." And it's the placemaking work in communities throughout our state that shows that this motto is more than a motto. It's more than a catchphrase. Long ago, Dan and the incredible league staff, many who are here today, saw the important connection of having great places and a thriving economy. They are absolutely connected. So often, when asked about the importance of placemaking, I reference the idea that the difference between space and place is like the difference between house and home. Public spaces, they define the character of our communities. Placemaking is the expressive vehicle by which we create places for people to interact, to connect with one another, and have shared experiences. They're places where people come together and share their love for their community. In Grand Rapids, I can tell you placemaking has had and continues to have a huge impact on our city. As you look across our city, if you've been to Grand Rapids, from our neighborhoods like Uptown all the way to downtown, you will see the value of placemaking. And it has added to the vibrancy that we've seen in our city. And it's been a part of the transformation that we have led, especially over the last 10 years. And it helped get us through the economic downturn. On any given night, if you're in our city, you can go down and see dancing at Rosa Parks, or music at Rosa Parks, or movies in the park at Anabwin Park. You can see classes, you can see yoga on our bridges, and one of my favorites, if you're there in September, you can experience Art Prize. Art Prize has really transformed our city and has been a significant economic driver. It's truly created a place where businesses are interested in coming and where families want to live and to raise their families. And as I said, we know the economic impact that this has on our communities. And you can see it right here on this beautiful street in Holland. So with that, I will now introduce the amazing mayor of Holland, our host city this year. I personally am really excited to be here because Grand Rapids, we have the honor of hosting the convention next year. So I'm gonna be taking some notes, and of course there's a little friendly competition, so we're gonna try to outdo you, although I'm sure it'll be hard. So welcome, Mayor.
Thank you so much, Rosalind. This is just a wonderful time to celebrate. I'm so thankful for the great weather. I'm so grateful that the MML was willing to accept our invitation to come to Holland. And we hope when you get here, you feel as though you've come home to Holland, because we have been inspired by the placemaking that the MML has talked about over the years, and we have tried to implement those kind of ideas. They're kind of subtle, but as people have said before me, when you get there, you feel it, and you want to be a part of it. So yes, the fireplace was a public-private partnership. It was an idea from private individuals. They donated it to the city, and the city works to maintain it now. But that was all a private idea. The benches all around here have snow melt piping in them so that it's warm in the winter to sit here. And really the snow melt story is another private idea that turned into a wonderful public project that people seem to love from all over the world. We have the largest snowmelt system in North America, so all this street and the sidewalks are all snow melted in the winter, and it's almost Disney-esque when you walk through here in December to go shopping and the snow falls and melts. It is a beautiful sense of place. We are so appreciative also of private parks that we have in Holland, little bits of green that are maintained by private individuals for the use of the public. So we have a GDK park just a couple blocks down. We stage street performers in that park. We roast chestnuts in December there, and it feels like it's all a part of public spaces, and it adds the little bit of pause in the middle of retail, and people love that. You don't always understand it, but you do feel it. The little splash pad that we have over in the Plaza East is a great place also where people can eat outside, kids can play. Again, it's a private fountain there. The Macatawa Bank further down 8th Street, many people think that is a park. It is not. They have 2 fountains and they do beautiful work with their flowers, and everything inspires you about what is beautiful, and you are then drawn into the business. There are so many principles of making a place beautiful that also makes it very economically stable. We've added 780 jobs in the past year here, and we just had a presentation by our Lakeshore Advantage President Jennifer Owens at our chamber breakfast this morning, and she said that this region is planning in the next 3 years, 75% of those businesses are going to be expanding. So we are really growing. This is a engineering capital, robotics capital, and there are so many different industries that we keep working at in design and automotive and office furniture. And really, most people want to be in a place where they enjoy raising their family, where they have a sense of belonging and a sense of fulfillment. And that's really what we want to offer here in Holland. It's not just a pretty face here. We want this to be a place where people care about each other, and we want to give to others. We want to pay it forward as a community. We know that all of this isn't because of any one of us, and that together we have a responsibility to those who come behind us to present them with a community that is vibrant and beautiful and that is full of people that want to make a difference in the world. So we've also put a smart zone in this area, and that's a great way to encourage business and investment. And we realize that people nowadays choose where they want to live and then often what they want to work at. And so we want to give them the kind of place that they want to choose to live, and that they will then invest with their creativity to help make this world a better place and help solve the problems for the world. So welcome to Holland. We are so glad you are here. Never ever having the MML in Holland. It is just such a wonderful privilege. We are so grateful for all the work that the MML does to help all cities rise together and inspire all of us to love where we live and to love all the other cities throughout Michigan, and that we can help each other with staycations and build the vibrancy of the state. Just as Governor Snyder has talked about building the vibrancy of business by supplying each other, we can do the same thing in our tourist industry and in all the other resources that we have as a state. It is a wonderful place to live, pure Michigan. So we're grateful to have you here today.